We're back on the page with another profile. This time we gotta talk about Dino. That's right, Dino with LELAND from Cafe. Beat him up, Dino, dude! Let's go.
Yeah, this is really fun.
Tell us about it, bro.
All right, dude. So this deck is like a lot of words, but it's just the field spell. And if they don't respond, then they don't have anything.
And then
so
they die.
good.
And they die a horrible death, right?
Yeah, it's like if you could cheat out 3 blue eyes, but they all like had a bunch of text on them. It's like, why is this
I
happening?
just wanted to add this, bro. Beat him up, Dino, dude. I see you. All right, let's get into it.
All right, sick. So main deck, I played 2 of the big red one, 2 of the big blue one, and then 2 of the green one.
Maybe a
colors.
quick
Quick
wrap up of
overview.
what they do. Yeah.
They all have an effect that puts them where they want to go. This one banishes itself to search for the continuous spells for this archetype, the Ryu-Ge Realms. If 2 or more cards are banished, you can summon this from your banished if it was already there. Doesn't matter who banishes it or how, it's just 2, and it's during either player's turn. This one, you could discard it to search for the Ryu-Ge Realm, and it's Sea Spires because it's a sea serpent. So it'll put itself in the grave where it wants to be, and then if 2 or more cards are sent from hand or deck to the grave, you can summon itself for free. It's not a quick effect like this guy, but it's still really good. And this guy, if 2 or more cards were destroyed this turn, doesn't matter whose cards, doesn't matter when, then during the main phase, you can quick effect summon it from your hand. And to get its corresponding continuous spell, Dino Domain, you put it on the bottom of your deck, and then you add it to hand. So they're all ashable, all drawable, but they're all really good. And the reason you run them at 2 is because when the field spell resolves, you have to have a target, 1 from your deck, 1 for your grave, and 1 for your banish. And that's super important, but we'll get to that.
So you kind of want them. You want the game state already kind of rolling for them to really pop off like this.
Yep. For that field spell to resolve, they have to be where they need to go. And if you run 2, that's enough. Okay, so this is a big boss guy, of course. A ritual pendulum. So it's just LELAND bait. Oh well. Pretty much, if a monster on the field is destroyed at all, then you can, for cost, tribute a level 10 Ryu-Ge monster, special summon them, and then still all one effect. You can destroy up to 2 cards, and for as many you destroy, you place the continuous spells for each of the Ryu-Ge monsters.
Oh, so he's like mega profit then.
Yeah. So pretty much you get the effects of the continuous, and then you just replace them and negate stuff again, essentially. And we'll get into what they...
So it's almost like never ending, almost.
Yeah,
sort
it's
of.
like, oh, I played through all the negates, and then you just summon this and set more of them, and you're like, oh, well, that's really annoying.
I like that, bro. That
Yeah.
sounds good.
It seems really convoluted, but once you see it, you're just like, okay, I got you. Also, it's pendulum, effect, and scale, super important. You place it, then you can add any Ryu-Ge card from your deck to your hand, and then when it resolves, it destroys itself. And destroying, we want destroying, we want sending from deck or hand to grave, and we want cards being banished, and it's gonna happen. It's just there's so much in this deck, so much. The big thing here is the Dino package. It's pretty standard stuff.
Now here's what we tuned in to.
Yeah,
we tuned
yeah.
in for the big dinos.
Lock
you
in
know.
real quick. It's like, whoa, you're not excavating nothing. Like, they're already out here. So these are just my targets. It's pretty standard. Oop. Not sure how to organize these. This is a big bait normal summon. They have to respond to this or they know what's going to happen. They're going to have...
In case y'all don't remember what Overraptor does.
Yep.
Crazy card.
Normal summon, search for any dino monster, and then once returned, you can destroy a dinosaur on the field that's level 4 or lower, and then special a dinosaur from your graveyard. Which is very convenient because we do be having a dinosaur in here, and he's
They
about it.
They are dinos.
It is not an accident.
Ah, that's dumb.
Right, so if they don't respond to this, they know what they're dealing with. You're searching the double evolution pill by destroying, and then that's triggering the effects of
Are
summon.
people still misplaying against Misk? Have they not read Misk yet? No?
No, they're aware of Misk. They just don't know if you have it or not.
No.
So pretty much, I would Misk first and then not deal with like double hand trap, chain link 3, and I'm like, oh no. So I should have just done Misk first.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
lead. Should have led with it.
Right.
Man.
The only thing that's not really standard here is I'm playing one of each of these, and then the Hammerhead. It's kind of a filler card, but you get to cheat level 4s, and if there's a way to bounce your opponent's monster to hand, it's not going to tribute in the grave or anything like usual. So they just have to summon it again, and usually they're not gonna. This could be any level 4 dino though. All like 8 of them. This is a big scary worm because this deck is about worms, dragons, dinosaurs, and sea serpents. Yeah, so the True Kings, old guys, old head cards, but you straight up destroy 2 cards from your hand or field, and then you can special summon it, including an Earth monster. If they're both Earth, you get to look at your opponent's extra deck and then banish up to 3 cards with different names from them. I've done this against a Ryu player, and since they can shuffle back their targets, it's very spooky, so they only need to run 1 until you snipe it, and then they're like, oh, I can't send this big scary card.
So you unicorn them before the unicorn would ever even,
Yep. It's like, I don't have to guess what they're playing.
This is Unicorn's grandpa. I got you.
He's the old head. He's sitting on the porch telling you what to do because he already knows. He's been there.
In my day.
Every day's your day if you resolve snatch 3 cards from their extra.
Every single day.
I'm saying. Oh yeah, a dirty card. A gift. It was Archfiend Protoss. We just say no to whatever attribute we don't want.
So it just slides right into all this crazy
Absolutely.
stuff.
He was already there. He's already at the club, bro. He's already there.
Yeah,
so shout out Ant. Thanks for Ant.
Shout out to Ant.
I was like, I need this card. And he was like, what if I told you? I'm that guy. So yeah. 3 Ash.
Creepy feet Ash. I see you,
Oh no. The economically sufficient Ash. It ain't common.
At least it's not common.
Yeah.
That's the worst. Common and creepy feet, that's too much.
Draw for turn. Common Ash. Yeah, you're cooked. A thing of note here is I literally only run this hand trap, and that's because I don't like getting talents. I don't like getting triple tactics thrusts happening.
Because your monsters are big and
They're huge. If they can take one of your guys, it's like, yo, the crew is now the ops? You don't want that. Like, they expect you to do this so they can go, okay, talents, goofy. I'm like, no, I'm literally holding this because you're going to activate monster effects during the turn, and you don't want them, like, stealing the entire game off of 1 card.
I feel like you're going to be like double Evo pill and a cross out.
Oh my god.
Something crazy like that.
Yeah, they have to run the card for cross out to work?
Yeah.
They're not running these, dog. They might run into them. They're definitely not running them. Okay, so this is pretty interesting. Ryu-Ge Warzone is huge. On activation, you must add a dinosaur, sea serpent, or worm monster, 1 from your deck. 1 of each, of those types. And then you add 1 to your hand, send 1 to the graveyard, and then banish the other 1. So essentially...
So it's like Mary shoot.
Yeah. Essentially, you banish the green 1, you send the blue 1 to grave, and then you add the dino to your hand. Because they can all summon themselves from their respective zones.
So that's what you want to do.
Yes.
To be able to set all of them up. So
Yes.
drawing a field spell is your starter.
Yep,
Okay.
the field spell is super your starter. If they do not interact with the field spell, they don't have anything, or they don't know how your deck works. Pretty much. The other half of the field spell,
No, you're good.
if you have the ritual monster Ryu-Ge Mistva in your face-up extra deck, which remember, after you search, it destroys itself. It'll be there. You can activate the effect to summon the Ryu-Ge monsters from their respective zones. So if you have 1 in grave, 1 in hand, 1 in vanish, this will
You
summon.
had this beforehand.
Yeah.
It's like Captain Planet for real then.
Yep, it straight up puts itself there. You summon 1 from grave, 1 from banish, and 1 from your deck. And remember, this guy shuffles himself into the deck to search for the Dino Domain. So you're just going to have 3 big guys on the field. And that's, you haven't even summoned. Really, not normal summon. So that's pretty good synergy. Pretty spooky stuff.
I feel like it's a really, really underrated. It's like Ryu and all those got the attention, but it's like this one's pretty good too.
Yeah. I could understand if you read this card and said, wow, it dies to every hand trap. And said no, and said pass. And I get it. But at the same time, there's so many ways.
So how does Lost World work in there? Because I know this one's dumb too.
Yeah, Lost World is OG Dino stuff. If a dinosaur monster is summoned, then you get to summon a Dino token to their side of the field in defense position. They cannot target monsters on the field except for that one while this card's on the field. And that's very helpful because they're going to want to say no to your cards. And if they have a monster, they can't summon Kashtira, they can't imperm you.
So it's still Lost World in 2025.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like the whole world is in your hands right now.
Right.
Yeah, so even then, like, you don't have to do this first and take the L with the Ash. They have to deal with whatever you put in
Now I
front of
know
them.
you got to have like a set rotation or something coming. It's
Oh,
gotta be
what if I
coming.
told you, this is just troll bait If you think they have droll, you just say, nah, I'm gonna skip this until you know they don't. Set rotation is insane. Ryu activating their field spell and negating your cards is cringe on resolution. So we be resolving this card. It's not a monster effect. It just sets them. And not only that, you give them whichever field spell you want. So if you have Misc or whatever, you place this on your side of the field and you give them Ryu-Ge Warzone. And because they don't have targets to add to their hand, they can't activate it.
Bro, that's actually
not at all.
That's always been important, but like this deck is like you're really gonna screw them.
Right.
And there's a lot of field spells rolling around right
now. No one can activate new field spells. If this is on the field, they have to target that token, and they're not gonna want to.
I would have cried if you did this to my Fluon.
Oh my gosh. I'd be like, activate effect, and you flip set rotation. You don't need Cosmic. You don't need to Ash it. You just say no. It's just not there. Okay, Ryu-Ge Rising, very important. It's a quick play. What it does is add a Ryu-Ge monster from your deck to your hand. So red, blue, green, or the dragon pendulum ritual. So I would go draw phase, activate this. You're guaranteed to search. And they're not going to Ash that because they want to know what you probably have in your hand typically, but you just dodge draw. So you could add whatever you're missing. And then its other effect is if you control the dragon ritual monster of the Ryu-Ge variety on the field, you can banish it and then a Ryu-Ge monster from your grave, and you can summon a Ryu-Ge monster from your deck the same level and type. So it's just copying it. You banish one.
It's like a low-grade E-Telly, I guess?
Pretty much. Okay. It's like you have your target in your grave, you're not going to summon it, you just banish it and cheat one out from your deck, which is why you run 2 of everything.
Dumb.
Yeah. Long story short, the fact that it's a quick play is bonkers, so you don't auto-die to droll. You can kind of think about it. These are the domain cards, the cards that the big level 10 main deck Ryu-Ge search out. So they all have 3 effects, 3 billion, and it's a big deal. The one you've probably heard about is Ryu-Ge Wormwinds. During your opponent's turn, any card sent from their field to their graveyard is banished instead. And Wormwinds corresponds with the green worm, because if 2 or more monsters are banished, you can special summon him. So pretty much, he's getting summoned if that happens. Every deck doesn't care about being banished, but you care about summoning your bros. So it's pretty useful.
So this gets you going.
Correct. Also, as another incentive to have them matching up Guitar Hero-wise, you can use this monster's effect to shuffle back specifically Wormwinds, because they match. Put it at the bottom of the deck, not shuffle, and then you search for any Ryu-Ge card. So you don't need to have Wormwinds. If you don't want them banished, you just put this back and add whatever you're missing. By the end of the turn, you'll have everything you need. And so they all correspond. Sea Spires, of course, corresponds with a Sea Serpent. This says the static effect, your Ryu-Ge monsters can't be destroyed by battle, which is huge. Because your guys are big and they want them to leave, and it just can't be. And they have to deal with it, or that's going to be a problem.
This deck's really annoying for people to like deal with. And then you're like, Misc. And they're like...
Yeah, if you thought Misc was annoying, these are all just like Misc Light.
Yeah.
And they're kind of like as needed. You don't have to have all of them. You just pick the one you want. Also, his effect with his corresponding spell, you put this at the bottom, and then you banish your opponent's entire hand, and then they draw the same number of cards, essentially. So that triggers this.
They're searching and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
And trigger yourself, and that's dumb. I see why you're smiling like that.
It's a lot, dude. Game 1, you know exactly what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
You can just do a little bit of math, like, oh, 2 Nibirs are banished. I'm probably not dealing with that. Yeah. Big deal. And they all search these, by the way, of course.
And then this one.
Dino Domain is the sauciest one, the most obnoxious. Every level 10 or higher dinosaur monster on your field gets the effect that if a monster effect is activated on the field, you can just put a Ryu-Ge continuous spell trap on the field, and then it goes to the bottom of your deck, and you negate it. So the point with that is, if you summon Tyranno, he gains this effect as well. He can do that. And it's a soft once per turn. So if he activates, he negates. He leaves and he gets summoned back. He can negate again, because that's every level 10 dino. And it's just gonna keep happening. It's just
stupid.
Yeah, it's kind of like
it's underrated. I see why you're playing it.
Yeah, there's a lot of like reading, which is kind of like cringe, but there's a lot of things. I probably
Yu-Gi-Oh players don't read. We know that.
That's why I'd be saying colors. It's Guitar Hero. What's a Hakva, bro?
That is a good way to teach this deck.
Yeah, it can be. No, I'm not disrespecting the lore, because I am about the lore, but I had to learn how to play it first. Okay, so still standard dino stuff. Double evolution pill you're gonna get from your Archaeosaur. All right, so double evolution pill. This is a card you're gonna get, and they have to answer it, or they're gonna get every monster flipped face down, courtesy of Big Papa Tyranno. He's in here.
Somewhere. He's somewhere. Over there.
Tony Soprano, Big Tyranno. I'm freestyling, bro. You know the vibes.
Yeah, he's somewhere. Over there, bro. We lost him.
Yeah. He's with the gang.
There he is. There he is. He's
Certified.
hiding.
He will pay for you if you didn't have the money. He said, "Nah, bro. We all eat here."
And then instant, these three up here.
Yes, these three, just the one-ups. Foolish to feed the sea serpent that summons from grave. Also, whatever you're missing. That's this whole deck. Whatever you're missing, you just put it there. Called by. You would think a lot of it is just saying no to hand traps, and you're absolutely right because you hate Droll. And if they say, I got him, Droll, you just say no. You know what you're gonna do because what they do doesn't matter if you see this. If you do see this, you're good. If you don't see it, yeah, you gotta change around, but it's still fine. Instant fusion by target sword mud dragon currently. It's the only one I need. It's a level 4.
So nobody can target you real quick.
Yep, absolutely. Pretty self-explanatory. I always want to say that. I think we're at traps. Yep, trap card. Okay, so this is a Ryu-Ge card. It is a rare. Basically, you cheat out a Ryu-Ge monster from your deck, graveyard, or banish. And that is really annoying because if they stop you, you just set this, they don't know you have it, and then you flip it, and then they have to deal with a negate or whatever big guy. You don't have to commit that much. Also, you can banish it since it's a trap, quick effect. Target a Ryu-Ge continuous spell, the realm cards, and then you put it at the bottom of your deck and draw one.
Oh, so that's your recursion.
Yep, you can use each once per turn, and you can use both in the same turn, which is crazy. There are times that I've searched specifically for this because I had everything else. And if I didn't have enough gas, I'd say see you next turn and save all my cards for next turn.
You hold it back and then kill them.
Especially if they don't know it's there. They're like, oh, I got rid of the threat. He's like, jump scare. Meme
Jump scare, skill drain.
Yeah, it's real scary, bro. He needs... Oh, man. You just say no because all your monsters are huge and they're level 10. You might forget, but it doesn't matter. Not a lot of decks can get rid of all 3 of your dudes with just nothing. So they have to have it.
Make them commit like that. That means Power Sync Stone to be good in this deck too.
Pretty much.
Nobody. I shouldn't have told you that. He's like, hey, I've already been studying. I got you.
Oh, I'm writing this down. All right, so this extra is a work in progress. Today I just played a few. Long story short, you're making this every game. You summon the 3 big guys, make him. It says no to anything by detaching one, and then for the rest of the effect, you can detach another one and destroy a card in the field. All of your effects proc off destruction. So this card is the go.
You can play this with trains.
Yep, absolutely. Oh yeah, there's a train. This is if.
Speaking of trains, my bad. I didn't mean to blow your cover.
No, you're good. All aboard, dog. This guy is if you're scared of their side and you just want to get to your turn. So you make him. You detach during their turn. He is unaffected by everything. It doesn't matter.
Everything.
See you next turn, dog. It's like.
Hey.
This train, big in time. Time is so real. No more explanation. He's scary. This card is huge. I don't even have Logia yet. I don't. But all I need is Dolka. So I say no to Nib and Omni for anything else. And then every other card is just bonus. See you next turn. Tornado Dragon as a worm. So he fits in the field spell lock regulations.
Broken. That's what I was about to ask. Yeah.
The field spell locks you into worms, dragons, sea serpents, and dinosaurs.
Keynote to remember.
Yes.
That is a worm. Very important.
Yeah, so these will happen later. This is a worm. That's huge. You're going to make him. He's going to be there. So these are kind of just bonus as needed. You have access to a lot of rank 4s because every dino is rank 4. This...
Dweller is a sea serpent.
Yeah,
interesting.
He's dwelling. He's in the dwelling. Solomon Great Almirage, at this point I would recommend because there are games where you can normal summon Archaeosaur and that will try to get you to search the double evolution pill. You need a dino engrave for it to work.
Oh, so you have to, just like old school dino. I got you.
Yeah.
Did you hear that? It's like old school dino.
Oh, dude. I'm a living fossil, basically. Oh, well. Yeah, especially use his actual effect of banishing 2 dinos as opposed to the spell that says dino and a non-dino. This card is crazy. Can't target anything, as mentioned. And then
What the?
Time Wizard Tomorrow is basically a dark...
Time Wizard.
Literally. It's Dark Hole, but you flip a coin to determine who takes the amount of effect damage, and the effect damage is determined by the original attacks of the monsters that are destroyed on the field. So you can normal summon Baby Stegosaurus, use Instant Fusion, activate it. They can't ash it, and then it'll destroy Baby Ceratosaurus, and you're off to the races. Anytime you need something destroyed, he's here. He's there. And he's a level 5 light.
That's really slick, bro. You one of the most, you're one of the slick rogue players,
I am one of
slick,
them.
bro.
One of
That's
the
pretty
cards
slick.
of all time.
Well, we're the capital of rogue decks in Kansas City.
Actually, I am literally after many people. Say, I haven't seen that card in years. He's like, you're sure right? You're about to see it right now. That's it.
And then just, example side,
Yeah.
before we get out of here.
A lot of placeholders, but it did me well every duel. All 2 of them, LOL. I will say, Judgment saying no is insane. Going second, you have to do this. They have to answer it, or they will have 1 card. You just have to. Saying no to synchros, and it's without explanation. Going second, Dark Roar. It stops you from running 8 different cards because you don't really want to side a lot. So you just say no to monsters. And then the Spice, quote unquote. Vanity's Ruler, because you summon 3, you'll still have 1 on field when you tribute to summon it.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That's actually crazy.
Yeah.
And then this other card that I see right after this. These are 2 of my favorite cards in the game, bro. Side blocker and why side blocker? I like that.
Side blocker is just called by. You call a name, and as long as you're close enough, then that card effects will not be activated that turn or the next turn. It's super duper called by. So you just guess. Whatever you see in your hand and you don't want, you say call draw. They can't use draw. You can play however you want, not around draw.
So I've been messing around with that deck in like melodious like Ryu-Ge stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I'll turn this off. And then I go right over the top of the blocker. And it's like, damn, that is crazy.
No respect. It would be Pegasus. He said no respect.
That's really broken. I love that card. And then this is the last card.
This is basically Protoss, but for types instead of attributes. So you could say against Malice, call Cybers. It's like, see you next turn. Apply to every deck you don't like, basically. So yeah, it's lit.
Well, bro, you're again one of the rogue captains of the city, man. And I know you're never burn out on how rogue you can make things around here, bro. So I appreciate you. And I always recommend that you should do content because you have more rogue decks than anybody I know, bro. Except for Panda,
Yeah, that's actually truth.
You
Every card is printed for a reason, even if it's just pack filler.
True.
It's hard.
True. This guy will be reading your comments. Coming soon.
Yes.
We're out.